All right, good afternoon. How you guys doing? Just want to let you guys know that I'm really excited to be here. It's been a great experience so far. The Pac-12 was an incredible conference. I'm just really looking forward to the season. It's been a smooth transition. I've got one quick announcement. Darren Cheverini, our wide receiver coach, I'm promoting him to assistant head coach. He does a great job recruiting. He's relentless. He's a CU guy. Loves CU through and through. Has done a great job with me, helping me through the transition. I lean on him heavily for a lot of things, and I just want to acknowledge that. I've got LaVisca Chenault with us today and Nate Lamon. LaVisca's our receiver for us, a great player, and Nate plays linebacker for us. With that, I'll open it up to questions. Hey.
I was at the game last year in Boulder. Nate Lamon gets flagged for questionable targeting penalty, and you listen to the commissioner and have discussions about what's going to go on from here as far as that goes. Even coming from another conference, what are your thoughts on some of the stuff that's going on, the potential rule change, and how this is going to get?
Yeah, I feel comfortable with where the targeting rule is right now. I think it's a good rule. The game is safer now than it's ever been. It's important for us to do an excellent job in our teaching progressions and blow delivery and tackling, and to take the head out of the game. And so I feel pretty good where we are right now. Well, it's been a change. I remember a few years back in the NFL where it was a really strong campaign to take the head out of the game, and we all had to make some adjustments in terms of how we teach blow delivery, how we teach tackling, and it's made the game better. It's made it safer, and so our coaches are all bought into that. I feel really, I feel confident that we are teaching those tackling and blow delivery techniques properly, and our players will be, they'll be prepared and they'll be better off for it.
You've been around some serious athletes. How does LaVisca compare to some of the previous athletes that you've worked with? What signs do you see in him that he could be elite? Maybe what makes him different?
Yeah, he's a rare athlete. The thing I like about him the most is he's a great young man. He's a high character guy. He's very humble. He's hardworking. He's a lead by example type of guy. But from a skill set standpoint, height, weight, speed, there's very few guys like him. I mean, he can do it all. He's got excellent ball skills, runs great routes. He's very competitive. He plays, he's tough, he's contact tough, and he's got some leadership ability. So he's a guy that he's a privilege to coach. And it's not every year that you get a chance to work with a young man like that. You're welcome.
As far as the teams are concerned, when you go through and you look, I don't know if you looked at all the film or whatever, how do they compare with where you're coming from?
The conference is very strong. We have a tough schedule, week in and week out. It's going to be a challenge for us. But at the end of the day, it's going to be about what we do and how we compete, how we prepare, our attention to detail, our physicality, our discipline. But it's a challenging schedule, and the Pac-12 is going to be real tough this year.
Do you bring it like a different emphasis? You've had a different background. You're coming from a different place where they play it a little differently. Does that give you an advantage if you can do some things?
Well, that remains to be seen. We want to win the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. We want to play a physical style of football. We plan to play relentless defense, and we want to be able to run the ball on offense on our terms, which means when we want to run it or we need to run it, we can do that. And so that's the culture of our program right now.
Does it take a certain amount of time for a new coach to put his stamp on a program, or do you have high expectations as soon as fall camp starts?
We have high expectations right now, and our goal is to be the best football team that we can be, and we started that process from day one. My first day was December 5th, and we laid out to the players what type of program that we need to have to compete for championships, and it's a daily process, and we're working on it every single day.
Have you coached any sub-freezing night games before?
Have I? Yes, I have.
You have?
Yeah, I have. It's,
You will.
I will. Yes, it's not an issue. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio.
You are? Oh,
Yeah,
you're
I'm from Cleveland. I played at Wisconsin, and I coached for the Cleveland Browns. I've coached the Chicago Bears, and so
You're a really good guy.
yeah. So it's I've kind of been there, done that, and my goal is to have an all-weather football team.
Mel, the conference has discussed playing noon Eastern kickoff times. That'd be 9 a.m. here, 10 Mountain. Would you be in favor of Colorado doing that? And how much do you think that would help exposure back east?
Well, yeah, I know that's part of the plan, and we're talking about that. But for me as a coach, I just want to play ball. Put the ball down and let's go play. And so, whatever the schedule is, the timing, the kickoff time, the opponent, it's really not an issue for me. I just need to know when we're going to kick off, and then I got to get my guys ready to go.
Have you talked with Rick about it at all in terms of actually going through with that?
We've talked about it a little bit. We'll see where it goes.
How do you like Folsom Field?
Love it.
It's,
It's a great venue.
had you ever been there before?
I had, as a player of Wisconsin, in the '90s. I played in Boulder. Colorado had a great team. We came out on the losing end of that deal, but I can remember Ralphie running right past me. It's a great atmosphere, and it's a special place to play.
Coach, having come from the SEC, what's going to take to get the Pac-12 back to on par with the SEC and be more competitive?
Yeah, well, there's when you sit in the coaches' meetings, the Pac-12 coaches' meetings, you look around the room. There's a who's who of coaches. So obviously, from a leadership standpoint and building program standpoint, we have coaches in our conference that know how to do that, and know how to have won championships and know how to get that done. And I feel like we're going to play a great brand of football that people are going to respect, and that's what it takes.
Colorado has not had a lot of the previous coaches over the years, since it's joined the Pac-12, have not had a lot of success. It's a big undertaking, and the Big 12 fans, they know what Colorado was. What was the one thing that you can say that this is why you think you can be a success here at Colorado?
Well, it's been done before, and I've been in championship programs. I know what it takes, the process, the steps that it takes to build a championship football team. We did it at Wisconsin as a player. I was in Coach Alvarez's first recruiting class. We won a championship my second year at Ohio State with Jim Tressel, and we did it in 2015 at Alabama. And so there are certain things that you have to do in order to be in position to win a championship, and those things are in place in Boulder.
Welcome to the West, by the way.
Thank
I
you.
hope you enjoy the humidity. It's a little better, isn't it?
It is a little better. It is a little better. It's a lot different. Thank you.
So you've played and coached in the Big Ten, you've coached in the pros, you've coached in the SEC. How are you combining all that experience into what you're going to plan to do here at Colorado?
I've taken a little bit of something from every place that I've coached. And, at the end of the day, I have to be myself, and the team is going to be a reflection of me and how I believe the game of football should be played. But the experiences I've had have been a tremendous asset for me moving forward. There are going to be some things from Bama, from Georgia, from Ohio State that I've learned that I'm going to install in Boulder.
And with your recent pro experience, obviously a lot of kids, they're thinking about that next level. What do you try and instill in them in terms of what they need to do to get to that next level?
Well, like I told those guys, I went through 10 drafts, and so I know what it takes to get there and what it takes to stay there. And I'm willing to help my players get there if that's what their goal are. And most players that is a goal is to get to the NFL. I've been there. I know at every position what they're looking for, what are the requirements, and our program will develop our players, and they'll have an opportunity to do that. They'll be prepared. They'll be exposed, and so it'll be a smooth transition for them when it's time to go to the next level. We know what it takes.
Also, you just came from the SEC. What was the challenge of defending against the Malzahn offense? What were the unique challenges of that specifically?
Yeah, Coach Malzahn he has a great football mind, and he knows how to get it done. He knows how to score points. One of the toughest challenges with Coach Malzahn is that he never really gets away from the run game. So you have to defend the run as well as the pass, and he does a really good job recruiting. So he always has good quarterbacks and really good skill players, and they play relentless defense. And so, he's a guy that I have a tremendous amount of respect for. We've had some success against him in the past, but he also has had his fair share of winning moments as well.
Your first year,
Because you had to study it so many times, how did you ever get a count of how many times, how many different ways they could block the same concept at times? Is that kind of part of the perception?
Yeah, well, I've studied Coach Malzahn quite a bit, and again, he's a tough guy to prepare for, and he knows exactly what he's doing. He has plays that he loves to run, that his players know that they can execute in the crunch time. But at the same time, we were able to have some success. It really comes down to making plays, and we have some good players who were able to make some plays against them. Yeah.
Your first 2 years as defensive coordinator at Georgia, you have to coach against Jacob Eason in practice every day. Now he's potentially going to be the starter at Washington, at least vying for the starting quarterback job at Washington. What did you see in your time practicing against him, and how much do you think that can help you now being at Colorado, potentially going against him this year?
Yeah, well, Jacob, I love him. He's a really good player. I got along well with him. I thought he was a tremendous talent. He can throw the ball a mile. He's got one of the strongest arms that I've ever been around, college or pro. And so, but that was a few years ago. So obviously he's developed and progressed as a player. It's going to be interesting to see what type of player he is now.
Coming from a situation with your Lions where resources were as vast as they were in that conference, and flying private was the standard for assistants, or we had a helicopter, we clearly had everything at disposal to move around very quickly. What are the inherent advantages of that, and now what are the challenges? That's absolutely not the same for anybody to have private planes at disposal that are university.
Yeah, well, recruiting is the key. Obviously, good players make you a good coach, and at Alabama and at Georgia, we recruit every day. We recruit every day, but we do the same thing in Colorado, and we have what we need from a resource standpoint to recruit at the level that we need to recruit to. And so, I feel good about where we are in recruiting. Our coaches are relentless. They understand that you have to recruit every day, and you have to recruit at a high level. You got to be willing to fight and compete for the best players, and so that's what we're willing to do.
You're able to make more visits in the course of the day because of that. That's just an inherent thing that comes with those resources.
Yeah, well, obviously every situation is different. I feel really good about our situation and our ability to recruit to get to the players that we need to get to in the areas that we feel like where we need to live in recruiting. I don't really see any limitations in Boulder as far as what we can do recruiting-wise. Mario's a good friend of mine. I love coaching with Mario, and I have a lot of respect for him. He's a great coach. He's a great recruiter. I mean, he gets it, you know. And I've talked to him a few times since I've been here in Boulder, and I'm really excited to see what he's going to do. But the 1 year that I worked with Mario at Alabama was a great season for us, and I'm glad that he's got this opportunity.
The flights are a little longer though, right? Recruiting, you got to fly.
It depends on where you're going,
Yeah.
you know.
Who recruited you at Wisconsin? Who was the coach then?
I was in Coach Alvarez's first recruiting
in
class
Barry's?
in 1990. Yeah.
I lived in a little town in Pennsylvania. I walked in. He was eating dinner with what was the great cornerback who played in the NFL for all those years. Works with the NFL now.
Troy Vincent. Yeah.
Troy Vincent. He's sitting in a corner in this little town.
Yeah.
It's like, that's Barry Alvarez. He did a pretty good job.
Yeah, Troy and I are good friends. We played together, and we were actually roommates one summer, and we stayed in touch. You know, it's funny. There's from that team, there's quite a few coaches that were on that team that we had, or guys that are involved in football. So myself, Chris Ballard was on that team. He's a GM for the Colts. Joe Rudolph is offensive coordinator at Wisconsin. Todd Orlando was on that team. He's a defensive coordinator at Texas. Darrell Bevel was the offensive coordinator with Seattle, was there. Doris Sharp was the commissioner of the SWAC.
Wow.
And so Coach Alvarez had a pretty good
knew what he
influence on
was
us.
doing, yeah.
Exactly.
Where in Cleveland did you play?
I played at Cleveland Heights High School.
Cleveland Heights. Okay.
Coach, speaking of Coach Alvarez and some of the other coaches that you've coached under, when you first got this job here in Colorado, did you reach out to any of the former guys? And during the process, if you're confused about things and being in your first year, do you reach out to some of those old coaches?
I reached out to a lot of the coaches prior to this opportunity, just in preparation for anything that might come, down the pipeline. And I try to stay in touch with my mentors and guys that I've worked for and guys that I've worked with, college and pro, just to make sure that I was prepared for whatever may happen. And so those guys, I lean on those guys quite a bit. Surround yourself with good people and experienced guys that care about you, want to help you. It's just been a blessing for me.
And then going back to the recruiting topic, I noticed you brought up a lot of JUCO linebacker and defensive line positions. Is that something you're going to do going forward, or just kind of?
Yeah, we have some holes that we needed to fill. Depth was an issue for us that we saw right away. We're heavier in the junior colleges than we will be in the future, but we'll always look to fill some immediate needs because at the end of the day, you gotta have guys ready to go, and so really whatever it takes, we're going to do.
Given
Speak on the competition battle at running back. I know you guys lost your top 3 guys last year.
Yeah, well, what I saw in the spring is that we're going to have 3, 4, 5 guys that we can rotate in and have a role for us. Guys are going to run hard, take care of the football, be good in pass protection. Fontenot had a good spring. Mangum, showed some things in the spring game as a freshman, and so I feel good about that position. I'm looking forward to having a stable of guys where we can keep fresh backs and guys can have roles and contribute.
Have you noticed the difference, given your vast experience, of the players you recruit on the East Coast or in the South versus guys from the West Coast? And how much experience would you say you have recruiting kids in the West Coast in general?
So what is the difference between
Like
the
their
players?
style of game, or is there anything you noticed over your time in coaching players that come from the East Coast or the South or the Northeast versus the West Coast? Is there any difference?
I haven't seen much of a difference. I've recruited. I spent some time in California. I recruited Texas. I recruited Louisiana, and all in the Midwest, and recruited in Florida. I've recruited in Canada. I recruited the Kansas JUCOs, and there's great players all over the country. And it's just a matter of finding the right fit. The guys that are good, that are a good fit for us.
And so how much did that help, just kind of all the experience that you've had when you put together the staff to be a head coach? How much did that prior experience, knowing I want to have a guy from here, I want to have a guy who maybe knows this area really well, where recruits come from, how much did that thought factor go into it?
That was a big part of it. Colorado, where we recruit, West Coast, California, Texas, Louisiana. You want to have coaches on your staff that have experience in those areas, that have credibility, that know their way around and know where the players are. And so that had a lot to do with how I put the staff together.
And then do you have any experience recruiting in the state of Washington, or have you ever signed a player from the state of Washington, given that it's so tucked away far in the Northwest, but there's starting to be more and more players coming out?
Yeah, prior to me coming to CU, I had not recruited the state of Washington. But obviously they have some really good players there, and so that's an area where we're going to be in there competing for players.
Do you feel like that, just the Northwest in general, is underrated, undervalued, under-recruited? How do you assess it in your brief time now as a head coach?
Well, there's players everywhere, and you just have to decide as a program where you want to recruit. Where you're going to invest your time, your resources, and so there's tremendous players out west. We have good players in the state of Colorado, and there's teams from every conference recruiting out west. Big Ten, SEC, everyone's out here recruiting. So there's no doubt about it. There's a lot of talent, and there's a lot of NFL players that come from the west.
Now, with this promotion to how much has Darren brought to the program? I mean, not only as a legendary player, but just with you kind of being a bridge between your former staff and the one you built.
Yeah, he's been a tremendous asset. He does an excellent job recruiting. It's really important to him. He's played at CU, and so
We've got about 3 minutes remaining with Colorado.
Being on the staff at CU really means something to him. It's personal to him, and I can see that in the way he works. He's done a really good job developing wide receivers. They've had a very productive room, and he knows the lay of the land. He knows California, he knows Texas recruiting, and he knows Boulder. And so he's really helped me out quite a bit in the transition.
You had a lot of mentors as coaches, Tress, Saves, coached under Jack for a while.
Yeah.
Is it a mixture of all of them, or is there one that you think has influenced you the most?
I've taken quite a bit from each coach that I've worked for and assistant coaches that I work with. I would say Coach Saban, really gave me my foundation in coaching. I was with him 3 of my first 4 years in the business. Really defensive philosophy and how to coach and how to recruit, at Michigan State and LSU. But I spent 4 years with Coach Trussell, and he won 5 national championships for it at Youngstown State. We won 1 at Ohio State. Just the way he went about his business and how he ran his program. Then obviously, Romeo Crennel broke me into the NFL. My first 4 years in the league in Cleveland, and gave me my first coordinator job in 2008. And so, just learning the league and how to coach pro players. So I've been blessed. I've been around a lot of great coaches that have invested in me and have really poured into me what they know, and that's a big part of That's a big part of who I am today, is the guys that I've been around, the coaches I work for and work with.
Any offensive carryover because Darren was kind of that co-offensive coordinator the past couple years?
Yeah, obviously he's hit all of our offensive coaches and have input in how we do things, and obviously he recruited a lot of players that we have. And, Jay Johnston is our coordinator, and Coach Kapilovic is our run game coordinator. So I feel really good about our coaching staff, and Darren has a significant role on our staff, and I have a lot of respect for him.
I was talking to Nate and Visca about these monitors that track your energy output and speed. Were those something that you brought over from the SEC?
Yeah, the GPS monitoring, that was something that I thought was very important. for our program, so we made a significant investment in those units, and I really feel like it's already helped us, and it's going to continue to help us down the road.
What else? What are kind of the big things that you think you're bringing to Colorado that they didn't already have because of your SEC experience?
Yeah, well, there are certain things that you have to do to be in a position to win, and fortunately, I've been coached in those programs, seen it put together, those steps, the infrastructure that you have to have, and that's what I bring to the table, a winning formula. These are the things that you have to do. It takes what it takes, to get to that level, from recruiting, coaching, how you handle yourself off the field. Just all of those experiences I bring to the table, and our players have really bought into that.
That's all stuff that costs money. Has the university been responsive to what you need them to help you with?
Yeah, I feel extremely supported. Phil DeStefano, our chancellor, Rick George, our athletic director, we work well together. I let
Right, that'll
Rick know
conclude
what
this
I need.
session with Colorado.
I let Rick know what I need, and we prioritize it, and then we knock him off and get it done. So I'm really excited about that.